You are back on the Mountain Morning Show. Great to have my friend Bill Humbert back in studio, author of a Recruiter Guy's Guide to Finding a Job. Do you have a good weekend?
It was a great weekend.
Good.
Yes, thank you.
Wonderful. I wish it could certainly cool down. We could all use a little bit more
of
those cooler temperatures.
I was in Washington, D.C. over the weekend.
Oh, okay.
And it was a pleasure coming back here because D.C. has
Not as
high
much humidity. Yeah.
and high mosquitoes.
Oh, wow. Well, we are certainly glad to have you back here bright and early for a Monday morning to talk about something that many of us should be more aware of. And you taught me a couple of things a few weeks ago that we're going to share with you guys this morning, how to get more out of your LinkedIn profile. We kind of started this series last month, and there were so many opportunities to share how to really advance your profile that we thought we'll do another one. So first off, with your URL, this is something I was completely unaware of when it comes to my LinkedIn profile. You can actually customize your URL to make it more simple when people are searching for you. How does this work?
It's very, very easy. All you need to do is go to your profile and click on Edit Profile.
I think we're going to pull that up here in just a moment,
and
so you guys can see what that is.
There you go. And so down below the picture, directly below the picture, you see Chelsea's. Well, you see Chelsea's URL for LinkedIn, and then you see the Edit button. So you click on the Edit button. And then to the right, you see a column, and page down on that column, and then you'll see edit your URL, your present URL.
So you can customize it.
And so you can customize it, and it's great to put your name on it. And what'll happen is you'll put your name, and then it'll see if it's available. And if it is, then you just click, that's the one I want. If it's not available, then you can put your name 2 or your name 1981, you know, whatever. But you know, that way you customize it specifically for you, and it's not a long URL that they just assign you.
And this is great too. I mean, a lot of times our resumes are online, or when you want to give some the URL for your LinkedIn profile to make it more simple, it makes it much more easy for them to access you online.
Absolutely, because you know, search engines search for terms, and so if somebody's searching for Chelsea, then all the Chelseas will show up. If they search for Chelsea Haviland Miskin, then bang,
takes them straight to it.
Goes right to it.
Very
so
good.
it really is a good thing to do.
All right, well, let's go over one that I recently added to my profile is my summary. I wasn't quite sure what to include in this because to me it was almost like, well, am I supposed to brag about myself? But you kind of are. You're supposed to put what you told me, some of those top points of your career thus far. Give me some more information on that.
Well, you know, Chelsea, it's really important when you're doing that kind of thing on a summary to give people a reason to want to contact you. And you know, one of the reasons they may want to contact you is, in your situation, could be the people that you've interviewed. It could be the fact that you've been a host on television for X number of years. It could be the fact that, you know, even that you graduated from BYU. I mean, there's a lot of different reasons why people may want to contact you, and you just want to make it easier for the search engines to find those terms. Now, if you're looking for a job, it's important to put the keywords that companies use that define the type of job that you're looking for in your summary, so that pops up when they're doing those searches, instead of you being number 200 million out of 200 million.
Exactly.
You want to get it up, you know, a little bit higher.
All right. Well, in reference to that and using those important words, keywords, that can be very valuable when it comes to people searching for things, maybe a person or an organization. And the example that we're going to use here, I interviewed Ashton Kutcher during Sundance. I had a really fun red carpet interview with him, and I included him in my summary of people that I've interviewed. Tell me how this works. If someone were to type in Ashton Kutcher for a search.
On the search button on the top, you type in Ashton Kutcher, and voila, there's Chelsea and her interview. You know, is it the fifth one down or something like that? There she is, and all they have to do is click on the interview, and it'll, you know, pop up on the interview if you have it actually on there. If not, then in your summary, I know that you put Ashton Kutcher's name, and so that's part of the reason that it popped up. But what you could do is if that interview was on YouTube, then you could provide a URL down below. We talked about that last week.
Yes, that's right.
Or last time. And you put that in there, and then it would lead right to that, and people would be able to click on that and see your interview.
Well, it spreads one's accessibility to you when you have these keywords in there. I mean, it's kind of random to type his name in there and have me show up, but then that connection there with that interview through Sundance when he came here for the jobs movie preview that he was showing. It's really interesting to see how you can fully utilize that resource.
Exactly.
All right.
Exactly. It's there, and it's there for us. So LinkedIn is a networking, it's networking software. And so everything that you can put into the basic pieces of LinkedIn, into your information that draws people to your profile, gives you the opportunity to have a much wider network on LinkedIn.
Very good. All right, well, our last item of business this morning, and this one I've had some interesting things happen with. Okay, so people can request being added to your network. You can just pretty much, well, you can't really connect with anyone. You have to have some type of connection. But I've had an issue where people that I legitimately don't know want to add me on LinkedIn, and typically I only use that if I know them through email, through my current job or previous jobs, or maybe it's just a professional connection I met somewhere. I have to have had some type of interaction with them, and I get a little concerned if whether or not I should accept a connection. What are some what's an outline you can give us in terms of points we should consider on whether or not we should accept that connection?
First of all, it depends on what reason you have to be on LinkedIn. For me, I'm a recruiter, so it benefits me to have many more people. So I have almost 2,500 direct connections, but they're in all industries doing all different kinds of things. For your purposes, though, you're going to be much more narrowly focused to people that you know either through your industry, through school, through any of your contacts, maybe even through the interviews here. And it's best to kind of keep it to that kind of more narrow focus. If somebody's contacting you from outside the United States and it doesn't look like there's any true connection, ignore it. If somebody's contacting you and your sense is that it's for multi-level marketing purposes, just hit that spam button and send it off, and they won't be able to do that anymore. You can ignore people's requests and you can just let them sit. But I would just say, if you're not in recruiting, if you're not in sales, if you're not in marketing where you need a wider base, then just keep your focus much more narrow.
And I like in our previous conversation when we were discussing this interview, how you also mentioned, if they are in your specific field, or if there is maybe a direct connection to them and you're thinking, oh, one day I do want to meet that person. So don't just ignore it right away, because you told me this, you're like, you need to maybe look into it a little bit, see what their current position is, see where they've been and what they're doing, because you never know how that could develop.
That's right. And the thing is, when you're inviting them to join your network, it's important not to use the stock invitation. Put a reason in there for them to connect. So if it's you want to connect with one of the big names in television in one of the networks, then like Vinnie Politan. If you want to connect with Vinnie Politan, if he's got a profile out there, hey, I'm the host of the Park City Mountain Morning Show, and give him a reason to potentially want to connect with you.
All right. Well, some excellent information to certainly integrate into your own LinkedIn profile. And if you don't have one, it's probably a good idea to start one up. It's pretty simple. It is free, as a reminder, but there are certain advanced options that I believe you do pay for. Do you?
Yeah, you can, but I think the free is probably best.
That's the way to go.
Yeah.
All right, that's what I'm doing, and I like it. Cool. Well, thank you so much, Bill.
Chelsea,
we
thank you.
appreciate your time here this morning. We look forward to next week. Hope you guys got some good information from that. We'll be right back after this quick break. We have the Make-A-Wish Foundation joining us with one of their Wish Kids talking about the Rubber Ducky Derby, as well as Chef Carl Rubidoux. That's all in just a moment.